Hi guys, I hope you're good since last video. Agentic workflows builders. We've used in this channel an open source one called Langflow. n8n, Make are the best ones, the leading ones. But recently we got OpenAI coming with its own Agentic Builder to make it easy for Mr. Everybody. So that's what we're gonna see in this video. Let's get started. Let's start with n8n workflow. You just tap n8n workflow into Google. You arrive in their website. You have a look at the page. You don't need to go to scroll too much to understand what it does. It's very clear. We can see here the diagram. SecOps, IT Ops. So this make it hard to understand, DevOps, but just tell to yourself that you can come here and do a marketing workflow, a sales workflow. You can do any funnel workflow here. Just plug and play different components that you can put together. Just setting up API keys. You have different integrations. You can see here Google Sheet, Gmail, Slack, OpenAI, Gemini, Google Drive, Notion, Postgres, and there is more and more. The calendar as well. That's how you can create your own application, your own automation, or if you want to sell it to any business which needs that. Okay, embeddings, working with databases, working with your different Google Sheets. After this is a paid tool. You can see the monthly, starter, pro, business, enterprise, different options for each. But what is interesting is that you can also self-host n8n. You rent your VPS, you go to GitHub, you install Docker in your VPS, and you just do the configuration of everything using Docker Compose. And after you can run your automations with your own agents. That's what is interesting with n8n. You can self-host it. Okay. So we can go over this documentation quickly. We don't go into the details. Just scratching the surface and how to deploy it, different cloud providers. The other one, the leading one, is Make. Same, Make automation workflow into Google. You arrive in their website. I prefer the website of n8n because this one is more about paragraphs and explanations. Using the same concept here, IT operation, marketing, sales, finance, but they don't show you any components, any workflow. That's what we want to see. I've been in this website trying to navigate and find those. They're not easy to find. While in n8n, I found those directly. Here there is a free tier, at least. There's a free tier in the cloud. Maybe in the other side there is, but we haven't seen it in the pricing page. And after we have the core, the pro, and the teams. And here, Make automation with AI, agentic automation. Even when you go to agentic automation, you don't find it. So I just go to images to show you how Make workflow would look like. Okay, we're back to their website. Where is it? Here, and we can't zoom in. Yeah, I have to zoom in the page. Yeah, so those two, n8n and Make. And now let's go for OpenAI platform. Here we arrive in this website. We got the presentation very recently about the agent kit of OpenAI, the building interface made easy for Mr. Everybody. Here is showing us a JavaScript called the snippet to show us how to make an API call. After you need to log in 100%. You need to have some different stuff set up before being able to use it fully. Here I'm just, as I told you, just scratching on the surface. So we're going to go over this website quickly to see the different features. We're using the latest model here, GPT-5. That's what they present. Read and generate text, generate images, build agentic application, structure data for models. From models, tailor your own use case, so custom. Achieve complex tasks with reasoning, build application with audio, and so on. There are some cookbooks ready. But we can see here something that I found very interesting is the status page. So if you're using any of the services, the API of ChatGPT, and you don't understand why your application, even if you have some credit, is not working, sometimes it's not because of your code or your mismanagement of retries and error handling. Sometimes it's just that the API doesn't work, because you can see here it's not green 100%. And the uptime is not like the S3 uptime, 99.9999999. It's just 99.91%, 51.51% for ChatGPT. So that means throughout the year, there are some times where the service is not up, is not working fine. You get nice details here, image generation, deep search, Codex, connectors. It tells you which component and how available is that component, impact in retrieval quality, file search, service degradation, and you can get the details and the dates. You can see just ChatGPT. It's not green. It's more yellow, orange, and red than green. So that, I don't know if it is for 1 month, from July 25 to October 25. That's what we got here. Codex. So I got a lot of failures with Codex at one moment. Maybe it was at this moment when it was red. Because more and more people are using those services. Okay, that's good. I've seen this kind of page of status in streaming websites. So maybe it's a template that everybody is using. So now let's go to the agent page, agent kit, build, deploy, optimize. That's what is nice here, is that they permit to for Mr. Everybody to come here, use it, publish into your profile, and after to deploy it into the cloud to be able to use it. So build an agent workflow, connect LLMs, equip your agent with tools and guardrails. So the guardrails is to prevent bad prompts, dangerous prompts coming from the users, for example. Add the control flow logic, write your own code. So there is also the agent SDK. and after the deployment, on the optimizations with tracing, monitoring. We can check the guardrail, set up monitor for unwanted inputs such as personally identifiable information, jailbreaks, hallucinations, and other misuse. Guardrail pass-fail by default, meaning that it's just the best is to stop the workflow if you get any errors at this stage for the guardrails. After here, they talk about MCPs. With this, you can just use maybe CLI tools or scripts, find it better. After here, we can see the nodes, how the nodes are interconnected, the different type of nodes using the cell language, common expression language that we use also in the long chain and long graph, using those curly braces and putting your variables in. So we got the conditional logic, we got the loop logic, which is the while loop, using also the cell language, and the human in the loop, stopping the agent to have a human approval. So this looks like long graph features with some edges, conditional edges, human in the loop. So I'm not sponsored by them, but I suggest you to go and watch the videos from the long chain channel, because they're giving us a lot of value in the Agentic and Pythonic. They're using JavaScript also, but I suggest you just to use the Python SDK. So they're helping a lot, because you can have full control of your agent using their framework. Okay, Agent Kit. Now we have the Agent Builder. So it's almost the same that they're presenting here. It's just repeating a little bit. You got those templates, drag and drop. So it's a no code. There's also the chat kit and also the SDK. Agent workflow. A workflow is a combination of agent, tools, and control flow logic. Okay. So you design the workflow, you publish it in your space, personal space, and after you deploy it. Chat kit integration, passing the ID of your workflow. Okay, interesting. Yeah, it's a system of nodes, plugging those nodes together. Safety risk, that's the guardrail. Okay, so that's what we've seen in the previous page. The node documentation. So this video is also my own first time looking at it. So that's what I like to do when I arrive in a new tool. I just check a little bit the highlights, what they're talking about. So here we have the agents. So we're doing it together. In your homework helper example, we use one agent, we write, okay, after here they're just explaining the example, the nodes, the tool nodes, agent with tool and external services. You can retrieve data, monitor for misuse and connect, file search. Okay, that's the guardrail, the misuse, which is here, they're talking about here, jailbreak, hallucinations and other misuse. we've seen that. Okay, Gmail, Zapier, they have some MCPs, if else, while, we've seen that also. So here are the same paragraphs that we've seen before. So now I think we are ready. Just give it a like and we are ready to go for the... So do the same for the video, give it a like please. And let's go and open Agent Builder. We got here the promised templates, structured data Q&A, customer service, planning helper, simple multi-turn workflow. So you can open any of those and see a full workflow and play with it. That's one way to go. Me, when I arrive, I like to start from scratch. For example, here it's telling me to finish my account setup because you want the payment, which is going to stay at $0. But I'm just going to use my Creditizens one, not personal. At this time we have access to it directly. So I'm not going to be running it, but we're going to be exploring the interface. We have the publish button here. That's where we can publish it in our workspace. Okay, publish workflow can be used in API calls. Amazing. After here we have the SDK and the ChatKit. Publish to get a workflow ID. To use ChatKit, you'll need to publish this workflow to get a hosted ID. Here we have the TypeScript SDK. We can go for Python. And what we're gonna do, we can maybe see how the example looks like, because there's nothing yet in the canvas. We have some imports, reasoning, base model. We instantiate here an agent. We give it a name, instructions, little prompt, the model settings with the reasoning effort. We have here the class, the workflow input using the base model to create your little structures. So input as text, that's the field. And after here, this is what is going to be running the flow. Taking workflow as an input. The workflow, there is a model.dump method. Okay. This is not surfaced, it's just in the SDK. We have the list of response input items. This is the history, which is going to be holding a list of those objects. Having here, for example, user input and the workflow. The text as input, which is coming from here. The class workflow input, which is the type, the input parameter. That's good. After we go here, we have an await. So it's an async LLM call. We have the runner, which is going to be running the agent that we have instantiated before here. Okay, so we got all the agent settings. We got the input and we send the conversation history. So this is going to grow. So it's very important to have control over this growth of it. Using summarization, or after here we have some tracing, or just truncating it. And after here we're going to be extending. So I mean, we're going to make this history grow with the response coming. So as response comes, the history becomes bigger. So you have to be careful about the context capacity of the model. Okay, so that's a very simplified code. It's been a while that I haven't been using actually even Python, because I've been putting my head into the Rust side of coding. It's really refreshing and nice to see some Python. Very easy to read. Okay, so what do we have in a node? This is the start node. We have learn more. Learn more takes us to the documentation, which is nice. Start. Okay, little info about it. Let's click on it again. Just want to see everything. We can add variables, state variables, string, different types, object, list, boolean. After the default values, you can name the variable. Okay, input as text. So as you can see here, that's what we've seen in the code. That was the class. What about this node called agent, the main node? So let's try to play with it, having some fictional data. So the name, we can change it for Manga reception agent. After here, this is the pen. This is, we have to use the pen to update the instruction field. So this is your prompt, basically. You are a receptionist at level 5, Manga Shibuya. I'm just going to create a fictional prompt. It is late, but it is still open, but you want to sleep and not be annoyed by any customers, as you are doing 5 different part-time jobs. You answer promptly, direct to the point, and a bit annoyed to users, but still help them. Okay, so it's a very bad receptionist that we have here in the Manga Kisa. Maybe the Manga Kisa in Paris. And after here, just for precision, whatever you see me filling in this form, that's what we've seen in the code. So that's what is nice with no code. You get everything like this. Here we have all the models, 01, 4.1, GPT-5. We have the reasoning effort that you've seen before in the code. The tools, if you want to use any tools, they have some hosted tools, MCP, file search, web search, code interpreter. Let's see the other ones again. Web search, just to discover it. So here what is good is that you can, let's use the latest, search only in these websites. So you can have full control on that. You can have even a regional control. So we're going to be staying in Japan, in Kanto, in Tokyo. Search size context. So you see how they made it easy for Mr. Everybody to understand. Text, JSON, or even widget with a chat kit. The verbosity. So you can have a concise answer, or you have medium, or you have a large answer. For reasoning models, display a summary of the model and so on. After we have the chat kit here, display a response in a chat. Show search sources. Continue on error enables catching error whenever an LLM call fails when disabled the workflow. Okay. This one can be turned on so that it looks like more like in when I'm coding in Python long graph. That's how I do. I always have a success route and an error route. So here we can keep those concepts like that so that it looks like what we've done before. And you see here it's proposing us a node because there's no node, and we can add any node. Just drag and drop and just click on it. So we can connect. Very easy to connect. You see how they have simplified it compared to the flows that we've seen in the web pages of Make, for example, and n8n. So I believe here it's good to come very early, start using it while it's still easy to use, so that whenever they update it, here you can see the structured output. So whenever they update it, you'll be able to understand what's going on. Because I feel like it's going to become more and more complicated, as this is just the first canvas to get as many people as possible starting to use it. It's very simplified, it's very limited. So still for the moment n8n and Make have more options, but we don't know how long they're going to be able to survive to that, because for sure you're going to maybe see in the future a Google version, or I don't know, Cerebras, Grok. Everyone is going to start doing it. So here, structured output, same as when you're calling your LLM and you want to have control over the response and how you want to render the response or transmit to the next tool or agent. So you want to have those variables. When I'm using my mini LLMs, I found that using more than 3 is not efficient, doesn't work. 2 works fine. 1, 2, 3 maximum. And we have a Manga receptionist answer. Structured output. So I'm not sure yet if it is the way to use it 100%, but when you arrive in a new tool, it's good to just try and use it like that, just to see if it is very intuitive or not. User approval, it went straight away here, but user approval, maybe you can put it between Manga and the end. So that would be one option to add. So there is an error. Maybe I want to have a user approval that you can call it, you can change the name of it and call it user control, just to see which kind of error you get. Here, just put a message just to see. Got an error, sorry. The Manga receptionist is sleeping. Come back later. Okay. So after here, approval or rejection. So I'm just going to put an end node and just connect reject and approve to it, because I'm not serious with this workflow. I just want to play with the nodes and see what is possible to do or not. And here same, the end proposed me to create a structured output in JSON. So I see that in the documentation they repeat a lot ChatKit, which is going to be the future anyway, because you see me typing all those settings, all those variables. I believe in the future we're going to be just using our voice to fill those forms, even to interact with those agents. We're not going to be prompting, writing anything. We just create a fictional sentence for approved, and the fictional sentence for rejected. After that, maybe I'm going to check how the code looks like. So whatever you see me filling here, the nodes that I'm using, this is all different blocks of code. So we're going to see how it is illustrated, translated into the code. Answer after human approval or not. Update. Okay. We have the approve and we have the reject. Cool. So we might check out the code. You see how simple it is. It's not scary to use. On the left panel you have the sidebar. You can use those components. After here on the top right we can publish it, calling it Manga receptionist test. We publish to have it in our own directory. As promised, there is this chat kit again. I talk about that we can link this workflow to this chat kit. And we have the code here. Agent SDK. You see, those are all the components that we have filled. There are even extra text. Excuse me. There are some examples, as you can see. So there are the prompts that we have asked for, but they might have used already an API call to get the prompt enhanced. You can see output format, especially in the example, because the example is pretty funny. Yes. Do you have a Manga recommendation for beginners? Start with the ones at the entrance. Pick one and let me get back to my break. You see, it's very bad receptionist. And we have some extra notes. And helpful. Do not write long, friendly explanations. Make every answer minimal, practical, and slightly impatient. Amazing. Okay, we have the approval side. It says to do, because we haven't done it properly. I told you I did it just quickly like that. That's not the way you do it, probably. So the code tells us to do, means it's not done yet. So here I'm using this looks like, yeah, it's the TypeScript, but yeah, you read it the same as the Python. Here, for example, it's using push, where in Python you're going to use extend for the history of the conversation. We just press here for Python. Looks clean in Python. Yes, we have the same. When we go down, and we have those end nodes. Cool. Production, V1. So it says production directly. It's not a draft. because it's ready to be published. When it's published, you can call it with an API. You got it here in the space, in your own personal space, workflows. Okay. And after here, you can also, that's what we've seen before. You can add a domain, generate a public key for use on a specified domain. So, for example, in Creditizens.metaverse. And after here, the key generated is going to be specially designed for Creditizens.metaverse. Okay, that's good. And after the account need to be set up properly. Otherwise, you won't be able to use it because it's a paid service. It's not free. But I'm not gonna go any more further. This was just to see. So we've seen that OpenAI has released a very user-friendly Agentic builder, workflow, no code, but if you want to use code, you get the access to the code. Very easy to understand. And n8n, Make, and all the other automation platforms are for the moment having more features, more integrations, but you feel like those big platforms like OpenAI and maybe the concurrents like Google, Anthropic, Grok, and so on, they're going to start coming up with those platforms for Mr. Everybody, which is going to maybe make those n8n, Make, and other workflow already leading existing platforms redundant and disappear. So that's the issue at the moment, is that every 2 weeks, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, the paradigm changes. So you better choose which big leader you want to stick to and just stick with their evolution. For the moment, I stay with OpenAI on my side. I see many developers on YouTube working with Claude, and Google is not yet at the same level. But we're going to see where it's going to go. I'm going to stop here. Thank you for your support. Please like and subscribe, and see you next time.